I mean, today I'm gonna give the people what they want.
Oh, you're finally gonna cancel the show? You're gonna move on to something else?
No. Is that what the people want? I was gonna.
Yeah. So we've been getting a lot of feedback that people say you don't record often enough, and it says I don't know when your show's going to happen, and I can't keep up with my pod feed is all messed up, and you don't put out new episodes. It's like that, and so people get very, very upset about the whole thing.
I know. I mean, that makes sense, but we've been really busy. I mean, really busy. I mean, if people want to jump on the Patreon and send some money, I mean, not that I do this for money. I just wanted that to be known. But priorities. I gotta put food on the table for all the babies.
All the babies? How many babies you got? You ain't got no babies. They're old at this point. I think one of them is probably in college or something. I don't. Come on.
Okay.
These are terrible excuses. What have you been so busy doing, huh?
All right, well, I will say we actually went on a vacation. We went on a trip. We went far away. We went to a place called Florida, and it was wonderful. I mean, it was terrible, in some parts, but it was wonderful. I'm not going to complain. I feel like I just complained. Why do I always complain? It was hot. It was like 85 degrees outside, and the sun. We were closer to the sun, I feel, because I got a little bit sunburnt, and not on the first day, which is hey, we're vacationing. This is what you do, and so we were staying in this place, and outside the back window there was a deck, and there was a waterway where we could see the water, and there were boats in the waterway, and we saw manatee.
Now, hold on a second here. Those are the cows of the sea.
Yes, they are. And you know what I just realized? Because we saw two of them, and they were playing together, and I don't know what the plural version of manatee is. So manatees? That would be like possessive. Manatee. I mean, it feels like sheep, like where it's just like, hey, look at that sheep. Hey, look at all those sheep. I think maybe manatee's the same way, where it's the singular and the plural are the same word, which kind of blows my mind.
I don't want to get into a grammar conversation because it's no one listens to podcasts for that, especially if you don't have the actual answer. What you're doing right now is you're doing one of those podcasts where you're like, we have 10 episodes, and we are going to go deeper into this thing than anyone has ever gone. And then at the end, you're like, but we don't have answers still. And you're like, I just wasted 10 hours of my life?
Yes.
What?
So what Piggy's saying, you don't know the answer, and we have already... People are upset that you don't record often enough, and now you're bringing to the table things that you don't have answers to, and so it all feels a bit, I don't know.
What?
Maybe you should take another break.
Really?
Figure out what you wanted to do.
No, I was excited when we hit record. I was excited. I wanted it. So in Florida, it's hot, sun's closer, sunburnt. And there were two pools, right? At the manatee. So we saw the manatee, and yes, no, I don't know, singular, plural. Maybe we'll remember that for next time. We won't. But so we were watching some manatee, and we also saw a dolphin go through the little waterway. It was like, hey, dolphin. And but there were two pools on the other side, and we found out that one of the pools was heated. So it's 85 degrees outside, and they had a pool that was heated, which was phenomenal. I mean, it sounds gross, because when you get in it, it feels like you're in soup. But the best, I mean, like, let me tell you. My kids were getting up at like 8 o'clock in the morning to go, they're like, let's go swimming. And I was like, because I don't want to go in cold water when it's 8 o'clock in the morning. It's just not what I want to do. But do I want to go into a warm pool? Maybe. Like, there's a lot more of a chance that I want to go into a warm pool. That's absolutely for sure. So it was nice, and we played miniature golf. I got 2 holes in one in a row.
Now, is that what you're doing this podcast to tell us, that you're moving on to be a professional miniature golf player?
No.
Is that what you're what you're thinking your new career move is gonna be?
No, I didn't say that there was going to be any kind of new career move. I just said that I was excited to. I forget what I started the podcast with. But like, I just wanted to do something. Like, I'm excited to be here, and
Yes.
you know.
You just said you're excited. I'm excited to be here. Anyway, so speaking of, great, you went to Florida. We get it. Good for you. Oh, you're a big man. You go on vacation. We were all sitting here wondering where the food was, wondering where the paper towels were, wondering who was going to draw our baths, and etc.
Did somebody... Hi, it's me, Doodle Poodle. Did somebody say they wanted me to draw them a bath? 'Cause, I can draw a bath. It's really great.
No. I do a poodle.
Does anybody have any pens and paper? Because I want to draw. You bad.
That's adorable. Well, real quick, in Florida, we were looking at some books at a bookstore, and on the rack, there was a book that was titled The Poodle Who Doodles.
Now, hold on a second. I didn't realize it. Have we been writing books? Have we been publishing books? I haven't seen any contracts for such things.
No.
Is this the new career that you're talking about?
No. Again, no new career, but I didn't know what to do. I was like looking at this book. It's a kid's book, and it's got this poodle, and he doodles, and I was just holding it, and I was looking at it, and I was like, huh. Well, this is a strange thing, you know?
Now, I know this ain't really my purview, but and this is a weird question to ask, but are we copywritten? Are we protected under the law? Like, what? Is somebody gonna come up and write a book like Al the Pig says, "How do you do?" or something? I mean, like, I don't understand. What's happening?
Well, now, this is my first time hearing of this, and so I haven't, obviously had time to do any research. I haven't had time for my interns and pages and whatnot, office staff to help me research, but I'm going to look into this because it seems like it might be an issue, and not necessarily, not that we're going to do anything about it necessarily, but the issue is that we don't want somebody to come around us and say, we've got this book about this poodle that doodles, and you've got this dog over here that doodle poodle, and he has to go away.
What? I have to go away?
Yeah.
Where do I
Oh.
What do you
Come here, buddy. It's okay. I think it's gonna be fine. It's just it was a really weird occurrence, and we'll figure it out. It's gonna work out. I think. But a little bit nerve-wracking, definitely. But it's going to be fine. Speaking of careers, and I want to move on for a second because we only have a couple minutes left. Guess what's coming back? Guess what's happening?
Oh, are you gonna start mowing people's lawns again? Are you back into horticulture where you're doing trees and shrubs and whatnot?
No trees. No, but comedy is coming back. I've been booked on shows. I have shows again. I get to go out to places, sometimes very far away, and tell people jokes, which is wonderfully exciting. I guess it was last weekend, I had a show, and it was in a barn.
You're doing shows in barns now? Interesting.
Right? So, the funny thing, I was the host, and there were 1, 2, 3 other comedians, and I went up, I did my time, and as a host, it's really difficult to get the room, to get their attention, and to kind of start the show off, especially because they're all eating dinner, they're chatting, there's an open bar, so they're doing other things, and so when I get up on stage and I'm like, here's time for the funny, and they're like, so it takes a minute or two to kind of break the ice and be silly and get them engaged and involved in the show. And so I did my time up front, and then I brought the the second comedian up. First is the host, me. The second is her, and she did her time. And then I got up, and I just wanted to kind of I did like a 2-minute thing in between the second and third comedian, And it went great. And they were like, ha ha ha, and I finally had them. Because at that point, I had kind of established my presence, who I am, and, you know, they have something to bite off of, which is good. And building the rapport, that's what I would say. I don't ever say that. And then the third comedian went up. He did wonderfully. And before he got off, the person who was running the show, not the comedian, but the person running the show said, "Hi, I need you to announce the cake after him." And I was like, oh no, because there was one more comedian. And here's the thing. This is an age-old comedy rule. This is you can't fight cake. You can't beat cake, right? So I got up and I was like, hey, I'll give it up for him. All right. And now there's cake. Everybody jumps up, runs for the cake. And the comedy show is just, and so I keep talking because I didn't know what to do. And then the comedian running the show came up and she was like, we're going to do an intermission. You don't do intermissions at comedy shows because the whole show is structured to build, right? It's this nice arc. And what this was doing was build, and then there's just a cliff that, wow. And but I was in the middle of telling a joke and I made the mistake of finishing the joke. I should have just been like, and I'm out, but I didn't. Because I was like, I'm already in this, let's do it. But there were 3 people in the room of 100 and whatever people that were looking at me. The rest of them were like, I want my cake. And so 15 minutes later, I had to go back, and now they're all sugared up. They got their cake, they got their coffee, whatever. And you know, it was... Comedy is a difficult game to play, but it made it exceptionally more difficult. But it's okay because it was fun. And now I have another show this weekend, and I am beyond thrilled to start having shows again because there's nothing I love more than going to a random room full of people an hour and a half away from my home and trying to get them to laugh at things. It's a very strange thing to try to do. Hey, who are you? You don't know me, but guess what? I'm gonna make you giggle. And they're like, I don't know if you will. And I'm like, me either.
The Bumper Podcast is an oftentimes hilarious weekly romp with Natty Bumpercar and some of his pals. It is family-friendly, clean, and ridiculous. Thanks a bundle for listening. If you love our show and you'd like to help support the podcast, check out our Patreon page at https://www.patreon.com/Natty Bumpercar. Also, pretty please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Share it with everyone everywhere, post about it on all of the social medias, or leave a rating and review. The Bumper Podcast is produced at headquarters in Coffee Can Alley. It's recorded, mixed, and produced by producer. The Bumper Podcast features contributions from Aloysius J. Pig, Rufus T. Rufus, Doodle Poodle, Robot, Trunks, and a gaggle of other silly rascals. Our head talker is probably Natty Bumpercar. We also have an absurd newsletter. Check it out and subscribe at nattybumpercar.com/subscribe. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Natty Bumpercar. Hugs and hearts. See you soon.
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer, Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.